Money Day, ladies and gentlemen. You're here with your host, Pastor Pips, and I'm bringing you this week's market outlook. Let's have a look. Without further ado, guys, check out our website, www.litcapital.co.uk, learn, interact, trade. Have a look at what we have to offer. Now, let's move straight into it, off to the economic calendar. Now, Monday, we don't have anything in terms of high impact news. Tuesday, we do have durable goods order, non-defense capital goods order for the dollar coming at 1:30 UK time. Bank of Canada Consumer Price Index for the CAD also coming in at 1:30 on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have monthly consumer price index for the Aussie, bank stress test info for the dollar. I don't know why I almost messed that up, guys. Thursday, we have retail sales for the Aussie. At 1 o'clock, we have harmonized index of consumer prices for the euro, closely followed by GDP for the dollar. Friday, we have manufacturing PMI for China, GDP for the pound, retail sales for the euro. Coming in a little bit later at 10, we have consumer prices for the euro. So it seems like Monday is going to be a bit of a quiet day. Things are definitely due to kick off for the week from Tuesday moving on to about maybe Thursday. Friday, we don't really have much except for the GDP that is really sticking out in terms of the pound. So we might have dollar potentially leading the moves until later on in the week. So with that being said, let's have a look at our chart. Now, first things first, I'm going to go through is the dollar. Now, the dollar, in terms of the move that we had last week, we can in fact see that we did actually push up into this daily imbalance area. We held 50% of it quite well, and then we started to drop down lower, which then hit our next area of imbalance before we saw price, of course, rally up higher. Now, realistically, guys, if I come down to the 1 hour, the main area that I was anticipating is price reacting out of this IC candle here. Now, we have gotten quite a good rejection so far, and it does look like we are going to head down lower, which is, of course, a really, really good thing. Now, this does mean that anything that is XXX dollar, XXX dollar will be rising for the most part. Okay. Now, in terms of what I do want to see is I do want to see this push down lower and attack that daily imbalance area once again. However, if I head up to the weekly area, we have just left over this weekly imbalance here where price, we want to see how price, of course, opens up and begins the day of trading. Do we push up first? Okay. Potentially close off this area before we get prices coming down lower. We could get a weekly candle that looks something like this, where price opens, push up into the area before we drop down lower. Okay. Are we going to see something like this in terms of that weekly candle close? So that is what I'm anticipating for the dollar. I would like to see the dollar overall take out these lows. Okay. I want to see the dollar take out the liquidity sitting beneath these lows overall. So yeah, that would be the overall target. We just have to wait and see if we do in fact actually get that. Now I'm going to move over to Euro USD. Now with Euro USD, great pair, great setup so far in terms of last week. We saw price, of course, push up higher. Realistically, it was attacking this weekly imbalance and closing it off. Okay, so we did push up quite high. However, you can see quite similar to the dollar, we have left over this massive bit of weekly imbalance here. Okay, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see a lot clearer. Okay, we have left this area over. So want to see whether the market wants to open, we trade lower, right? And then we start pushing up higher. I do want to see these highs. We do have a high, low, high, low situation going on. So we are currently bullish overall for the euro dollar. So I would like to see price potentially create that high overall to complete the swing. So coming back down to the daily, the good thing is that the daily imbalance has been filled and closed off. We did get price coming very close into this 1 hour IC candle here, the lower part of it anyways. However, it is from the top of this candle to the bottom of this candle here. So we have gotten a reaction there. Now I want to see what price wants to do once we open. You know, do we open with a gap lower, a gap higher? I do want to see the remainder of this imbalance filled. Okay. I want to see what price does once we do get back into this imbalance area and see whether we do hold it or if we're going to push through it, right? But to be honest, guys, the downside in terms of grabbing liquidity does look very appealing. You know, if we do break down lower into this area, we could actually come down a lot lower and take out a lot more of these lows that are sitting down here before we potentially think to take out the high. Okay, so it's important for us to understand how the weekly candle may potentially close above everything else. So my last pair for you guys is going to be on the S&P, or specifically the E-mini S&P. Now, in terms of the E-mini S&P, the target overall has been filled in terms of this imbalance area here. Okay, we closed it off to the T, slightly pushed outside of the imbalance area. The next area is going to be this gap here. Okay, that's going to be the next draw, the next target. Now, in terms of how we closed off last week, we do have a weekly imbalance sitting right there, right below price. Okay, so pretty much is very similar to the to euro dollar. Okay, we could actually see prices. Well, I want to see how price actually trades for Monday and Sunday. You know, where do we open? Do we open down? Do we open up? You know, does price come down and want to fill this area? Now, when I head down to the daily, right, there are other areas where price can come down a lot lower if this daily area slash weekly area doesn't hold. Okay, we can actually push down into this IC candle here and get a buy from it. Okay, if that fails as well, we'll just have to have a closer look at exactly what we're going to do moving forward. Okay, there's not much information to kind of feed off of. We just understand so far that we do have targets to the downside where prices wants to target, and we want to make sure that we, of course, target the right areas. So yeah, I want to see something along the lines of this where we do push down. Okay, we do trade inside this area a little bit. We shift and break structure, and then the first target would be right inside of here of this imbalance as the first target. And then the next target, of course, is going to be the previous high. And then the next target is going to see if we can actually fill maybe 50% of the gap or potentially fill the whole gap altogether. So yeah, that's the play so far. That's what we have at our disposal to use at the moment. But yeah, other than that, guys, that is it from me today. It's been your host, Pastor Pips. Guys, don't forget to check out www.litcapital.co.uk. You're the vibes is lit side. And remember, every day is money day. Peace.